السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem amma ba'd. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. Brothers and sisters, welcome to our weekly program, Friday Night Lives, where we are inspired by someone very special from our community who is able to join us and tell us a little bit about their lives, share some experiences, how they have been connected to the Islamic Center of Long Island or the community in Long Island in general, and also how they hope to, inshallah, inspire us and our generations in future. As we had mentioned this previously, we're trying our best to have, inshallah, at least one youth join us, one scholar, someone who is of the spiritual capacity in our community, one community activist who's, making a change in our community. And of course, then we'll also have one of our board members, either the EC or someone else who represent the Islamic Center of Long Island, to be a part of these Friday night evenings. So we're super excited. Tonight we have Sister Suha Sayed with us. She is, of course, I'll have her come and join and introduce her a little bit more. She's, mashallah, well known to our community for the work that she has been doing. So I'm going to welcome her right now to join us. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you?
I'm good, alhamdulillah. How are you? Hope everybody.
Alhamdulillah, you have an amazing background. Is that real, or is it just the lighting is perfect?
It is. You know what? Some guys hooked this up for me. I'm so thankful. No, I'm kidding.
That is amazing. Thank you so much for joining us, sister. So as I said, our special guest tonight is Suha Sayed. She's also known as Sister Suha in the masjid. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself so people can get to know the youth, the people who inspire so many people, and of course those who want to bring that change and inshallah take the position of changing and bringing the goodness in our community, inshallah.
Sure. So, assalamu alaikum. I hope all of you guys are doing well, staying safe, well, healthy, and most importantly, safe during these times. My name is Suha, also known as Sister Suha, to a lot of members of the Masjid community. I am currently a senior in college pursuing English literature, and my minor is going to be law. So, career goal wise, law is what's looking like the goal as of now. And yeah, I'm a teacher, I'm a student, cat lover. I love being a part of my community in ways that I feel like my efforts, whether it's volunteering, doing humanitarian work, fundraising, etc., could be functional and useful to even one person, then I feel like my job is done.
That is amazing. So, just with regards to your career, right? So you're talking about, inshallah, going towards your professions in law.
Mhm.
So you're a senior in college. That means you're almost in your fourth year in your college.
Mhm.
How long do you have left for those, guys out there, brothers and sisters who want to take upon this, inshallah, endeavor or this career?
Mhm.
How long of a time that you have left now, and how hard are the next few years for you?
So, what it's looking like right now for my college career, 4 years would have been my undergrad trajectory. But for personal reasons and the difficulty of getting classes like post COVID, I ended up taking a semester off, which delayed me just a little bit. But I still will be graduating on time. So, alhamdulillah, I'm trying to look at it as a situation of okay, maybe I'm not being kept up with people who are my age, but um, a delay in these things is something that none of us could have planned. Obviously, a lot of the things that are going on in our world right now,
Sure.
I'm sure nobody would have wanted these circumstances to befall on anybody. But the way that I'm looking at it is like, okay, there might have been pitfalls in the past, but the best things that you can learn, the
So now
best.
do you take your LSATs now, or how do you do that?
So the way it is right now, after my 4 years for undergrad is finished, I'm doing like a little bit of LSAT prep right now, but I just want my undergrad to be completely checked off, and then our like the version of grad school would be like a 3 year law school. So that's my goal.
Okay, so after that you have 3 more years.
Mhm.
And after that, do you just take your bar exams and you start practicing, or do you have to?
So I believe it's three. So 3 years of law school, and then you have to get like the I guess the board certification version of being a lawyer.
Sure.
getting
So,
it.
so with regards to a lot of people who go to law, they have politics in mind. Have you
Yeah.
ever thought, I asked my 6-year-old and she says she wants to be an astronaut, a gymnast, a pediatrician, and a president because she wants to live in the White House. So I
I
said,
hope
that's good. I don't have to pay for taxes anymore then.
you're
So,
good.
so with your law degree, are you thinking about politics in mind? Is something inspired you like that as well?
Yeah, so that's a good question because, funny enough, like my original goal going into college, I was like, okay, I know I'm going to do English because that's where my strengths lie, and I want to maybe pursue authorship or teaching. But it wasn't until I took a Law 101 class and really was, enamored by the way our legal system works. Maybe not right now, but I'm hoping that, strong, well minded people can create the reform that's needed in these really important positions. So
That's amazing. The Supreme Court now has women, people
mhm,
from Hispanic backgrounds, and we
yeah,
can't wait for a hijabi Muslim to be there, like yourself and others,
amen.
inshallah.
I'll be the
You know,
first.
that's our topic for tonight, inshallah, as well. So, Sister, yourself, mashallah, being active, you have been part of our Islamic Center of Long Island's weekend school. You have been part of our youth committee.
Mhm,
Um, you know, h- what inspires a young person to be connected to an Islamic center or institution? There are so many things that are around us.
mhm,
Our phones, the social media, friends. You can do anything you want. But
mhm.
what inspires a youth or yourself
Yeah,
to allow you to be connected to the masjid, to the center?
yeah. So that's a great question. From a young age, I've always felt this innate desire to go and help people, and it was a lot of the time it was inspired by seeing a lot of strife and poverty and sicknesses that would happen in the world. And that's that question where you're like, there's all this going on. I'm one person. I'm just one singular dot in this whole microcosm of the universe. How can I make a difference? And I was definitely inspired by a lot of fellow activists or just people that I looked up to who, despite their circumstances, did what they could to make a difference, no matter what their situation is. And I'm really, really fortunate to be part of the ICLI community because being a part of a community that really puts social outreach, civic engagement, interfaith relationships, volunteering, social justice issues at the forefront. I'm very lucky for that. I know that not all Muslim activists have that same privilege. So it's
That's
important.
amazing. Sister, one question that comes to mind is that when you mentioned that when you saw the conditions of people and you felt the gratitude or the sense of, uh, you know, thankfulness for the blessings that you have, and you felt that pain that people are in need, and you wanted to serve others,
Mhm.
uh, how much of the involvement of your because I want parents to understand this.
Right,
Did
right.
your parents give you that platform to allow you to see these things so that you can, because I want to share with you something very personal with myself. When I was fortunate enough to go and study in Pakistan, and I was studying there, when I was studying the Alim course, the Mufti course, and you go through specialization in 8 years, during that course itself, I came across individuals who could barely eat in a single day. And I
Wow.
felt, in a sense, so much gratitude that, oh Allah, you blessed me with so many things. And I really felt for the first time ever, we always just say Alhamdulillah, 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 but
Yeah.
really felt that Alhamdulillah at that time, that I saw others which really my age, same class, same
Hmm.
people, they don't have anything. So what gave you that platform? I really want our parents and all of us around us to really give our kids that platform to serve others. Where
Hmm.
did you get that platform?
So yeah, I think it's very important to when you're looking at any problem or any situation where you're like, okay, this situation needs solving. In my mind, there were certain increments of my type of improvement in this type of sense. So I was like, okay, I feel very like crestfallen and dejected at the sight of people suffering around me, and for a long time I felt powerless because my introduction to activism, it's it was a slow slope that ended up growing, and it's still growing. But I thought to myself, I was like, okay, so there are all these things going on in the world. What can I do to help? Besides prayer, besides things that are still very important, but what can I actively do to remain at the forefront of seeing people struggling and actually doing something about it. So this was in conjunction with different ICY events, plus a lot of volunteering things that I did in like middle school, high school, and in college. But I would say for parents, the biggest thing you can do to support your children that really want to witness the strife and conditions of people who are living in other parts of the world, because we, I believe, as an American community, because I can speak on behalf of American people, it's very easy to look at people who are struggling and in just really terrible conditions and be desensitized to it. Whether it's violence in the Middle East or homelessness, joblessness, job insecurity, people who are illiterate or really struggling through the depths of poverty. Seeing that in person is it develops another dimension of gratitude and a desire to change. So my
Sure.
witnessing that in person is one thing, like not just like you.
So I know that you recently, I not recently, but a year or so ago, you took a trip down
Yeah.
with a humanitarian group,
Mhm.
and we saw you had shared some pictures with kids there that you were helping out. How was that feeling? Like, you go out of your comfort. And look,
Mhm.
as children yourself, and people myself, like we grew up here. Alhamdulillah, Allah gave us comfort for everything that we ever desired for. Um, and that's how I see my children now, that anything that they hope and wish for is mashallah present. But how do we create that sense of care for others? And I know that you had taken that trip, so
Mhm.
can you just touch upon that trip a little bit?
Sure. So, for those of you who are familiar with HHRD, they are a wonderful organization. Not just saying that because I've worked with them, but they are an amazing organization that stands for
Helping Hand for
it
Relief
stands
Development
for rehabilitation, I believe,
and
and
Development.
development, right? So, amazing Muslim organization that really strives to put social activism and community involvement at the forefront. So, with these trips, they would do these annual trips called Youth for Blank. So, whether it's Youth for Haiti, Jordan, Pakistan, Bangladesh, etc. My trip that I took January of 2020 was Youth for Jordan, and for a few months before that, I had sent out an application because they were looking for volunteers. Put my resume, filled out the questionnaire, and alhamdulillah was fortunate enough to be accepted. So what happened was, for a week, I believe it was January 2nd to 9th of 2020, myself and different girls from all around the United States we flew together to Jordan, and we were in we saw a lot of different like camps that were there, a lot of different refugee camps. We visited orphanages and schools, plus like the night bazaars and things like that. And seeing the strife of our fellow people is one thing, but seeing the strife of our fellow Muslim community is another. So it was a short trip relatively, but I think that um, really getting out of your comfort zone and seeing people living in nightmarish conditions was an eye opener. And I think that's something that I have to remind myself for if I get, too comfortable with my life or feel lazy about wanting to make a change. And if I start giving myself excuses, it really helps to kind of like wake myself up in that sense.
That's amazing. Sister, our topic tonight is something that we previously spoke about in the
Mhm.
Islamic Center once. And that was the time when you said that, what, I wanted to make this change, that I wanted to wear this hijab,
Mhm.
right? And we get this a lot, right? And then of course there are sisters who have that choice, and some do that, some
Mhm.
don't. And you made that decision of choosing to wear a hijab at a
Mhm.
young age. And mashallah, you're taking on upon a career of law and professionalism, activism, so many other things that mashallah you're doing, and may Allah accept this from all of you. um, what brought forth that spark inside of you? What are some of the challenges that you received,
Mhm.
and how do you keep yourself motivated with this hijab as a crown for yourself?
Yeah. So, all great questions. These are, you should like keep these going. But so So the first question was, I want to take you guys back 2 years. I believe it was May of 2019. Yeah, so it was May of 2019, and Ramadan was literally just around the corner, if not had already started. And I was thinking to myself, like, spring has sprung. The weather was beautiful for those of us who live in New York. It was really nice to enjoy the nice warm weather after months of cold. And despite all of the beauty that was around me, whether the beautiful weather, or seeing the flowers, or seeing people really like take time to enjoy nature, I felt depressed. I felt really unsatiated with the state of my life, and I thought to myself, I was like, I need a change. So I went on a spring cleaning binge and I got rid of clutter. That didn't work. I'm glad I didn't cut my hair because I feel like that would have been a little destructive. But I thought to myself, after searching and searching, I was like, okay, wait, this is faith related. What can I do to make a change that makes me feel closer to my creator? That,
Um,
like a soul searching type of thing. So I had asked a lot of friends, I'm thinking about starting hijab and I don't know how to do it. And all of them, alhamdulillah, were very, very supportive and encouraging. And after talking to myself, talking to friends, I eventually came to the conclusion. I was like, all right, Ramadan is right around the corner. 30 days. You have a trial for yourself. Wear it for 30 days, just as you would. Just nothing has to change in your schedule. Just make sure your clothes are modest and you're wearing the scarf.
free cancellation after 30 days.
Exactly.
Nothing charged on your credit cards.
No legal binding here. Um,
That's right.
and I
Forgot
went
to talk to
there.
an attorney.
Exactly. I remember thinking, it was that, but it wasn't only a desire to wear hijab, but it was a desire actually to clean out my closet, full of clothes that I deemed to be immodest, because I saw this quote that a friend shared that said, "If you can't pray in it, don't wear it." And I
Oh,
was
wow. Wow.
like, wait, that makes sense, because every time I would go to the MSA at my college, I would have to wear like those big abayas because I would have to cover what I was wearing. And I was like, if I can't pray in it,
Wow.
make unnecessary alterations, maybe I shouldn't even have it in my closet.
Wow. Is,
Um,
is, is that quote trademark? Can we use it?
oh, I don't know, but yeah.
Okay.
One. So that was my impetus to really purge my closet out of like all the unnecessary revealing things that I just got accustomed to wearing, because I was like, oh, I'm not a hijabi, why not? But um at the point I realized, I was like, okay, my clothes are modest, why not we add just one more piece? And
Oh,
that really, like, figuratively and literally tied the look together. But it also helped me realize that something that I viewed myself as not being capable to carry out, like, it was in me all this time. And I think I really needed that push to start it. And the blessing of being a official hijabi, if you will, during Ramadan was just icing on the cake.
so my second portion of that question was challenges.
Yes.
What were the challenges? Meaning, there must have been, because anything that you really want to do or something that's
Yeah.
inspirational comes with trials and challenges.
Sure. To be honest, it wasn't like I told myself, I was like, this is not something that you're gonna look at as limiting, because I knew that I would go into a negative mind, like a headspace, if I be a limiting thing. So nothing really changed in my life besides the way that I dressed. But challenges, I would say, I had to cut off unnecessary friendships with people that I knew wouldn't be putting me into a trajectory of progress. So, I had a lot of unnecessary guy friends that snip, snip, gotta cut them off because I realized, I was like,
That is not watching.
and you know what? I don't regret it, because I realized that, it's not even just guy friends, but
I understand what you're saying. That's
friends
right. It's
who
for all of us to make the right decisions. You're right.
yeah. So challenges in that aspect. And also, interestingly enough, a lot of family members told me not to wear it because they were scared of safety repercussions that might happen, because of Islamophobia or ingrained hatred that a lot of people have. But alhamdulillah, to this day, I haven't had any negative encounters. A lot of compliments from people, which is really nice. But No racist has come up to me
Oh,
yet.
that's amazing. That's really nice. That's really nice. So, with regards to inspiration, meaning what keeps you motivated, right?
Mhm.
All of us go through times that, we drain out,
Yeah.
with the work of activism, being a student, being a teacher, meaning this is a lot that you're doing at this young age.
Mhm.
you know what keeps us what keeps you motivated, what keeps you inspired, for so many of us who really want to do something good?
Mhm.
What do you suggest for yourself first and foremost, and then for others? What would you suggest
Mhm.
young people out there who are looking for that push, that boost,
Yeah.
and that's it, then they got it?
Yeah. So for me personally, what keeps me motivated is looking at the ideas that I have in my head, and I just keep telling myself is like, so you've had ideas in the past that you have seen come to life. Don't remain stagnant because all of the ideas that you have in your head, you can't let those die because of external factors. So that definitely motivates me. Stories of successful people, whether it's world leaders that we've had in the past, maybe not so much in the future, but Islamic leaders. A lot of great examples can be learned from the Sahaba or Prophet Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, his stories and the trials and tribulations that people of our faith have faced, but still have had the strength to overcome that and benefit not only themselves but other people.
That's
And for other people who are in need of constant motivation or just like a push in the right direction, my biggest advice would be to surround yourself with good company. And this doesn't necessarily have to mean only Muslim people, because in my life, I have a joke where I'm like, some of my non-Muslim friends are like better Muslims than me. Like they're so good, kind-hearted people that I know that I can learn lessons and benefit from. So um, definitely surround yourself with good people and remind yourself why you started. Because if it's a question of, oh, I want to give up because I've done so much in the past, but look at how much you have to do in the future. There's so much more that can be garnered from a single seed of inspiration that will continue to grow and grow and hopefully inspire people.
That's amazing. So we're coming closer to the end of the program, so I want to wrap up some of the questions. But now with the Islamic Center of Long Island, alhamdulillah, an inspiration for so many individuals. I know we took you away from your meal, so we apologize. So I know you're having dinner with family, and then we
No,
had
no,
to.
good.
Thank you so much for time. So with regards to the institutions, the centers, as young people,
Mhm.
what do you hope to see uh, in the institutions where you have grown up, in other institution, and what would you feel would be these ideal situations or programs? I know we're going through the entire COVID situation where we can't have a lot of in person, but where do you see the institution playing that vital role in supporting young people, yourself, and even millennials, or even
Yeah,
people younger than them?
yeah.
Where do you see them or the institutions playing that role?
Yeah, so I feel like institutions can very much be improved by youth involvement. And that's not only having events that are catered towards young people, but I want to see young people being at the forefront of creating these events, developing ideas that will benefit people their age. Because what I've noticed a lot in Islamic communities, whether it's like academia based, cultural based, etc., there tends to be a contrast between older people, older generations that have had a very different uh, bring up. So intentions are good, intentions, and their heart is in the right place, but a lot of the time the ideas or desires to see a different community change can be lost in translation because of generational differences. So having younger teachers and younger Muslims really be at the forefront of leadership can feel very safe for people, because I know with some of my students, I'm like not even that much older than them. I want to say maybe 6 or 7 years. So I know that I could relate to them, but also impart on, wisdom, if you could call it that, in a way that would benefit them.
That's amazing. Sister, alhamdulillah, we're super excited for our new youth committee. Alhamdulillah, you're going to be a part of it with so many other people, Sister Misha, Brother Ahmad, and the
Mhm.
rest of the team that is coming in. um, what programs or what type of ideas do you feel or do you think that we can look into, or we will be seeing there? I know this might not be the information now, that because you guys haven't collectively met and decided, but
Right.
um, uh, are we seeing a lot more activity for the youth now in the Islamic Center of Long Island, a lot more engagement? Do you feel that this is coming soon, inshallah?
I really do. I really feel like, you know, once this once the coronavirus is over, I don't know, that's sounding more and more like a far-fetched dream these days, especially because people feel the need to go to Miami Beach during spring break. So I don't know.
Yes. Get vaccinated.
Your arm will hurt, but you'll get over it. Um, my Yeah, I really do see young people being at the forefront of these events, and ICLI had an event not too long ago. I believe it was in the it was in the fall, and we had a great turnout. And I really really love connecting with the kids there because it makes me feel like if I had a version of when I was younger, if I had a version of myself or someone like Sister Misha or Brother Ahmed or Sister Fozia, I can't help but feel like my activism could have started at a young age. So even like having a glimpse of a possibility of being that for somebody else is very rewarding.
That's amazing. So, Shazua, we're coming to the end of our program. Thank you so much for joining us. We
Or
would like you to give us a concluding statement to many of the young people, mashallah, the students that look up to you, many parents who could take this as an advice for their own children at home, and for many of their parents who can really um, take this advice and see a young person in the masjid in a different way next time that they see someone young in the masjid. So
yeah,
please do share some parting advice with us, inshallah.
sure. So I'll start off with the parents. I can never understand what it's like to be a parent to children who are living in being a parent. Period. Like I can't really see myself being a parent, but if there's so many sacrifices and conversations that you have to have with yourself before bringing a child into this world, and the blessing of having a child, especially a Muslim child, is beautiful in of itself. But there are difficult events that will happen in the future that you have to work through. Sorry, there's like background noise.
That's
um,
fine.
but for the parents, I really want to say, please be willing to have a conversation with your child. I know there's generational differences. I know there's differences in culture, language. You know, you didn't grow up like this, and there's so much of a contrast between that. But I would really like to say, please be patient and understanding of what your children are going through, and make sure that they not only see a parent and guardian in you, but they see a friend. Because I would hate to see students or young people getting validation or inspiration from wrong places instead of their own families. So it's difficult, and I can't relate to you on that front, but I really hope that you remain patient and understanding, and really actively work to cultivate a great relationship with your kids, even if it's uncomfortable at times, because I know that they will see that effort and appreciate it. And sometimes that can make all the difference. Um, it's kind of awkward because I feel like the parents are older than me. So if you don't mind getting advice from somebody,
No, this is amazing. I can't wait for your book to come out.
yeah. So for the students, I love the students. One of my students actually texted me. She's like, "Oh, I'm gonna be there." So Alicia, hi if you're there.
That's
Um,
amazing. Our board of trustees, Dr. Kosar Zaman, who's been inspiration and such hard person for our worker. So he says, "Thank you, Soha. Very inspiring. Can't wait to meet you in person. God bless."
oh,
Sister Maryam Khan says, "Mashallah, Sister Soha." Sister Noshi Ahmed loves it. She's sending Brother Wasim,
getting
Dr. Kosar. Alhamdulillah. SubhanAllah. May Allah protect you and may Allah bless you, sister. And please continue to inspire our young people, be involved, and of course, hopefully, a lot more great things to come from the Islamic Center of Long Island. And with all of your involvement, again, as Sister mentioned, please keep yourself connected with the institutions, with your children, with your deen, with your religion, and that's the means of our protection, inshallah.
yes,
So
yes.
again, thank you so much, Sister, for joining us. Please go enjoy your food now. Forgive us for taking you away, but
No, no,
inshallah,
you're good.
uh, I hope everything goes well, inshallah. Thank you so much. Good to
Of
see you,
course.
inshallah.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Join us next week, inshallah, for
Yes.
another guest, inshallah.
All right.
Next week, we have Dr. Asad Beg joining us, inshallah, on
Awesome.
Friday night. He will be talking about professionalism, faith, from Quran Hafiz to Taraweeh to education to residency to so much more. So, inshallah, we can't wait to join him next week, inshallah. So,
Yes.
Surah, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you guys. Stay safe. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.